What is up, ladies and gentlemen, sinners and saints, possums and heathens? Welcome to Offensive Points, where you guys need to go check out our draft guide because we spent a lot of time on it, and we're going to have really quick reactions to where these players land in the draft. So go check that out. Join us on draft night. We are doing a live draft show. We're going to be there for entertainment purposes. We are totally personality hires. So we'll let everyone talk football, and we'll chime in when needed. So join us there. We are doing jersey giveaways. We have a Nico Collins jersey and an Antoine Winfield jersey. So sign up for the mailbag, submit your question, and win. And they're awesome jerseys. I tried to buy that Nico Collins one. They wouldn't let me have it. It's all for you guys. It's all for the possums, the IDP plusers. Josh, Billy, what is up? What are we doing today? I don't even know.
Happy to be here. Even more happy to still do our live draft shows. Honestly, a little once we came over here this year, obviously it was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it. We had like conversations a couple weeks ago, and then somehow they want us there. I guess once again, like Joe said, personality hires. But we'll take whatever we can get, and we're looking forward to breaking down the first round of the draft, and maybe more. I don't know. Obviously, we'll break down everything.
I feel like writing the draft guide kind of saved our spot, at least, into the live draft reaction show. But at the same time, I'm glad that we're going to be able to be there. We'll be there from the start of the draft all the way through whatever pick ends at 9 p.m. Central Time. That's when our shift ends.
Pick 7?
Yeah.
Slow draft.
So, yeah, I mean, it does get a little taxing. I'm not going to lie. In the scheduling thing, they said that on the East Coast, it ends at like midnight, and I'm just like, oh my God, I do not want to be doing this at midnight. But, we love the NFL draft. The first round takes a while, so, it's a lot of fun. All right, today we are going to be talking. This is kind of an offensive point, extra point, and we're going to talk about teams that need to nail this draft, or else everyone in that is going to have the proverbial hot seat, the flame lit under their seat in their organization. So, guys, does anybody want to start, or
I'll start.
Team that they feel very passionate about? All right, Josh, take it away.
I feel very passionate about this one. One team that absolutely 100% needs to nail the draft, and yes, Joe, I see you listening with intent ears, is the Chicago Bears. They have to make this Justin Fields trade and Caleb Williams thing work. I mean, it's not going to be, we're not going to figure it out at the end of this year, like our 2024 season. I doubt. I mean, but it's got to work for the longevity. They haven't ever had a quarterback at this point. The best one's Jay Cutler. Once again, super weird. I guess at this point, maybe Justin Fields is the best quarterback, but not most winning. So, but they have to make this Justin Fields trade make sense. At the moment, it does not, in my opinion. They have the number 1 pick and the number 9 pick. They can do a lot with that. They can trade around. They can do some stuff. Obviously, we already know what the number 1 pick is. That'll be a real easy start to the draft for us. But no, I mean, they absolutely have to make this work. And I believe they can. I want to believe as a like bandwagon Bears fan because of Joe. I like to think that they can make this work, but man, if Caleb Williams isn't the guy, like what they could have done is trade this pick back and kept a 2 first round picks for the next 3 years if they wanted, just pick the guy that they wanted, sign Justin Fields. But I don't know. I really feel like they got to nail this, and I don't know if that's a Dunze at 9. I don't know if that's Verse or one of the edges. I mean, there's a lot that can be added. Could be offensive line. I mean, I don't know. But those first 2 picks are crucial, but obviously the later picks too. They have a chance to be the best draft, have the best drafted team after this. So obviously the 1st and 9th helps.
So how many wins at the end of the season, Joe, I'll ask you, how many wins at the end of the season do they need to reach for it to be considered a success? Like, not necessarily that they have to make the playoffs, win the Super Bowl, nothing like that, but how many wins do they need to get to the end of the season to where this is considered not a complete disaster?
I want to see 9 and 8 at least. I mean, 8 and 9 even. I wouldn't mind getting Caleb Williams in there. I'll probably have a slow start. Or if we draft Drake Maye, Jayden Daniels, who knows what's going to happen come draft night. We assume it's Caleb Williams. I think that's what we need to do. So he's probably going to take a little bit of time getting going. We still have a very young team. I think Poles, I mean, honestly, he's built that roster really well with a lot of young talent. So he has that on his side. And that DJ Moore trade was an A++++, because now hopefully we can actually develop a quarterback now, which we have never been able to do. So hopefully that changes. But yeah, I would say like 8 and 9, 9 and 8 around there. Just get the guys winning attitude and go from there. I don't think we're going to win the division. I think that's the Lions, but it's an opportunity.
I would actually have to give it a 9 win because of the Keenan Allen signing and the DeAndre Swift signing. You already had a relatively full running back room. Signing DeAndre Swift, I know he's not a veteran like Keenan Allen is, but I mean, he is, 3-4 years in the league at this point. The Keenan Allen signing showed that they are in win now mode. And it's not like, we're not going out to win the Super Bowl, but playoff berth needs to happen with that signing and with this Caleb Williams trade. I mean, 9 wins and still not making the playoffs. That's one of those, Steelers moves where it just doesn't happen. That's fine. But it needs to be at least competing for the playoffs. Like, you can't be a 7-8 win team. And unfortunately, rookie quarterbacks come in and they have a little bit of a slow start sometimes, but with the weapons around, like, he has one of the best offensive casts around him, and he's supposed to be amazing. So we're assuming this is Caleb Williams, that is.
Right.
9 wins isn't out of the question. I mean, it's definitely a tall order, but it's not out of the question by any means.
Yeah.
What do you
No,
think, Billy?
I have to agree with both of what y'all saying with the cast he has around him. I know that he's got a lot of hype, and I know that he's going to have a lot of pressure on him, and in that market especially. But honestly, like, they don't have to make the playoffs, but they do need to be pushing for that last spot. I think they need to very much be pushing the Packers right away for their spot in the playoffs. Like, that needs to be their number one target. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they could do that this season. And yeah, with the cast that they've got around them, and the defense probably needs a little bit more work, but I would say the offense needs to show quite a bit. We need to not think of the Chicago Bears as a offensive, like, what are we going to do? When are we going to draft them in fantasy? We need to actually have them as a consistent threat every year team that we're going to go to for that offensive talent. Okay, well, let's switch gears. Joe, you're up. What team do you think needs to nail this draft?
All right, we're going to talk about the goddamn Jets, and that is going to be because, I mean, I don't see how Joe Douglas can have a leg to stand on after this, or Robert Saleh. I mean, they went out and they got Nathaniel Hackett to work with Aaron Rodgers. That's not going to work with any other quarterback aside from Aaron Rodgers. So, I don't think we remember. He did not draft Quinnen Williams. He did not draft Quincy Williams. He absolutely screwed up basically every draft except for 2022. I mean, you can look back. We got Will McDonald last year, rotational piece in the first round. It's not really what we need. We did sign Tyron Smith this year. They got Mike Williams. Well, you know how I feel about that. So this really hinges on Aaron Rodgers, who is a 40-year-old man coming back from Achilles tear. So I don't know. I think the Jets are, a lot of their contracts are signed through 2025, 2024. So this is their window. And if they don't hit it, everyone on that team is screwed. I am sorry, Jets fans.
I mean, that window might even be smaller than that because, we got Aaron Rodgers. How many more years is he going to actually be able to play? And sad that we lost year one of the Jets Rodgers. Like, it almost felt like the Jets finally look like a team. They got Breece Hall. They just got Rodgers. They brought the cast with them. Garrett Wilson's obviously taken off, and then Rodgers' Achilles down. So this year does matter. And, I mean, that first pick matters. Is that an offensive tackle to keep Rodgers healthy, or is that Brock Bowers to be the first tight end that Rodgers has ever thrown more than 3 passes to? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. And I do agree with you, Joe. The Jets, they have to nail this, and it needs to be about the future too. I mean, obviously they're not drafting a quarterback to replace Rodgers at the moment, but they need to at least shore up some talent to whether it's have a better offensive line.
Or problem with this team. I don't mean to cut you off there, but that's the biggest problem. I mean, there's no future. There is absolutely zero future. I mean, Quincy Williams is probably their longest tenured player at this point, and you're going to be coming up on the contracts of your great 2022 draft by the time it's time to rebuild. So what kind of decision are you going to go there? Are you going to pay Sauce and Wilson and Jermaine Johnson and Breece Hall? Like, what? You're not going to do that. So this is your time. You need to get an offensive line. You need to get more wide receiver help other than just Mike Williams. And then you got to get a tight end. I mean, I know Rodgers doesn't traditionally use a tight end. I mean, sign Tunyon for God's sakes, because trade for Tunyon. I mean, he's
Richard
at least
Rodgers
familiar with him. Yeah, I mean, Jermichael Finley back in the day. I know he can't play anymore, but if you can get him a player like that, that's really what this team needs. And I'm excited to see Aaron Rodgers this year. We were robbed of it last year, but I don't know. I'm not feeling very good if I'm a Jets fan right now.
I mean, honestly, you're right about the salaries, Billy. We'll get to you in a second. You're right about the salaries for sure, but like that's an issue. But like, let's say Rodgers plays. This is his last year that he plays here. They go out and win the Super Bowl. You can't replace him. Like, and say he retires and rides off into the sunset. Like, this team's just like, yeah, you have all these other pieces that look pretty decent. Then you don't have a quarterback, so you got to go pay one in free agency, and then you got to pay all the other people. So that's the issue. Is you need to honestly drafting a replacement's not a terrible idea. I mean, Bo Nix, something like that. I mean, it seems weird, but like we saw it last year, was not Zach Wilson. I mean, I don't know who it would be. I'm saying second or third round quarterback. Just
it's the perfect spot for Spencer Rattler. I mean, that's what I was going to say initially. Was like they need to probably get Spencer Rattler in there. He's a perfect person to learn from Aaron Rodgers. He is kind of mellowed out in his years, but when he first started in college football, he's a very cocky individual, which Aaron Rodgers, kind of the same person. So it would be quite a good person to learn from, even though Rodgers has not shown any willingness to actually help the quarterback that is below him. So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for the best for the Jets. It was kind of a devastating beginning of that career there. But hopefully coming into this season, the Jets can have, I don't know. I don't even know what is a success for them, because I think they think they're in the Super Bowl hunt, but I think everyone else is like probably going to be pushing wild card. Probably. That's probably what you're looking at. The Dolphins probably still better. Bills, I think they're neck and neck with the Jets. Like I don't know, but then again, we haven't really seen this yet. So
I think the Jets
are going to be. Yeah, I think the Jets can do it. If they don't do it, everyone's screwed. It is not going to be pretty.
No, I think the Jets can go to.
Robert Saleh is like dead on. Like he's dead man walking a little bit, to be honest.
Oh, 100%. But I mean, without Rodgers playing last year, it was like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, there was no backup plan. It was Zach Wilson. I feel like honestly, Wilson. They could go toe to toe with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins, obviously, real hot start to last year, but then they really slipped in the middle of the season. I don't think that happens again. I don't think they go 9-0 or 8-0, however they started the season last year. Yeah, they're good. They are very good, but they're not going to win every game. And the Jets can easily very well be a 12-win team and can win this division with that. I mean, it's just they have to beat the Dolphins those two games, you know? I mean, it comes down to tiebreakers for sure. But
that's true. I guess we'll have to see what the rosters look like after that. Okay, let's switch to my team, and I will finish this up. And I'm going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings. Guys, look, it's no secret. Sam Darnold is their quarterback, and they have Justin Jefferson. We are not going to go into the season thinking that Sam Darnold is going to be leading this team with Justin Jefferson. How in the world can Justin Jefferson possibly be happy with this? Now, the cast around him is combined. You got Justin Jefferson, you got Jordan Addison, you got TJ Hawkinson midway through the season, maybe. I know he's injured. And then Aaron Jones. The defense probably going to need some help, but Brian Flores did show flashes last year of having a decent defense. But honestly, if they don't get a quarterback, they failed this draft. And I know everybody wants it to be JJ McCarthy. I think JJ McCarthy is the pick that gets this entire staff fired. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say that right off the bat.
I mean, with that 20-something pick that they got, they could just as easily grab one of the other guys. Like, you don't need to reach for JJ McCarthy. You could. I think
they should take Bo Nix personally.
Yeah, I mean, or Penix. I mean, they should be around in that area. I think that's where one of them will go. I think probably one of them slips to the second round. I don't know which one. Obviously, it comes down to the scouts, but really, in my eyes, like reaching for JJ McCarthy at the 6th pick is what they currently own, or like trading up and losing their capital, which I think we had in our mock draft, trading both of those picks for the 4th. It's like, just don't do that. Just don't do that. Go draft someone else. Go draft another offensive weapon or another big offensive lineman, or like shore up something else for the future. Don't give away everything for one quarterback when you could get a relatively decent one at the same for less of a cost. So
Bo Nix would be a really interesting signing here. I don't know. We already saw that Justin Jefferson did not show up for voluntary camp. He wants his contract. So this team is like teetering right on the edge of mild success or complete failure. And it's going to be fascinating to watch this year because you got Adolfo Mensa. I think that's how you say his name, going into his second year as GM. and this is not looking great for him. I'm a firm believer you got to give GMs 3 years, but I don't know. If you fumble this Justin Jefferson situation and miss out on the quarterback, I don't know if you see year 3.
Yeah, no, completely. Completely agree.
I'm not going to lie. I think this, and I hate to even evoke this, but this feels like the Detroit Lions situation where they have Calvin Johnson, Justin Jefferson, and they do get him a good quarterback in Matt Stafford, but they just can never get over the hump because the team is just not built perfectly. So if they don't nail this draft, I think we may be flipping over. I know that they just got there, so they still have some time to at least develop, but I just have very high hopes for the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm not sure that they're going to be able to do that.
Also, if you lose Justin Jefferson, like he just demands a trade and won't play for your team, that is going to look really bad. You're going to lose one of the best receivers because you just can't figure it out at quarterback. I understand Kirk Cousins wasn't the long-term solution, but I feel like there was options. Justin Fields would have been so great on this team. I mean, I'm not for a 6th, and then you're going to, if you trade 2 of your first-round picks to go up 2 slots to go grab JJ McCarthy and it doesn't work out, it's going to look real silly.
For sure. Okay. Well, that's all we got for this episode. Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
He was good. Do you have any more to that? Or?
He was the best.
No, you brought up the Lions with Stafford and Calvin, and I was like, oh, Javid best. That just,
Yeah, you remember Brandon Pettigrew?
Yeah.
Remember Freddie One Catch Mitchell? I loved him. He was good wide receiver.
Remember Johnny Knox? Sorry, that was a sad note. Someone say something else.
One. Yeah, that one was let's end this.
Okay, thank you for doing that, Joe. All right, well, catch us on our other episode. We're going to be talking about wide receivers. I actually did a full betting show about the Heisman Trophy in April, so go listen to that. That's also on the pod feed as well and on YouTube channel as well. Guys, these are the teams that are going to have to fail or pass next Thursday. So with that being said, Joe, get us out of here.
Good night. Yep.